Hi Rifters, and welcome back to another Torque3D tutorial for the Rift. So in this tutorial we're going to look at cloud layers and the nifty thing with the sun, and also a few other different options for getting your whole world to look out as you want. So let's jump into the world editor. Okay, so you might be wondering why we ran into that. So that's because I haven't actually changed it. So if we look at the spawn sphere, we'll actually see it's saying it can spawn in there, so that's why. So I haven't changed that, so that's fine. So now you'll see we've got a sky and we've got a sun. So sky's there. You can modify the details. We've currently got it as emitting red. You can have it emitting more white, or get into the yellows and do a more softer yellow, or get into even the real deep greens kind of thing. But yeah, so you see, leave it as is. So that gives you different options. You can cast shadows, so you can actually take all the shadows off. So you don't want the world or the trees to cast shadows. And you can also use different tint. So yeah, bunch of different options there. Just play around with them, get them to work exactly how you want. But in general, it's mostly just these ones that you're going to use. Now the sky. Obviously, this is a sky map. Now this is currently using a sky map called Black. Now there's a few different ones, like you got Desert Sky, etc, 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 and they all look pretty good in the Rift, So it all depends, obviously you still, as I said before, you still have to modify your, material.cs for the skies. So let's just select the blue. Make it easy peasy. Okay, so that's pretty simple, we got a few different options there, like you got a fog, so you can actually have fog where, after a certain viewing distance it starts to fog up. So it all depends on how you want to do it. Now you'll notice that obviously we can see this thing here. That's actually the ground plane. So if we delete that, it's gone. Now the reason is obviously if we go to the edge of the terrain, we literally will fall off and die. So you'll see like that's just sitting there in there. So obviously, as I said before, it's a good idea to either make mounds at the edges or have another mechanism to stop people going off the edge. But yeah, so we've done the sky, we've done the sun. Now we can actually look at clouds. So if we go to the library and levels, under environment, we've actually got three different type of settings. So we've got the basic cloud and cloud layer. So let's have a look at basic clouds first. Now you might think, oh, that looks nice. It's not bad. Well, that's pretty good. It's basically got three layers. So if you look under layers, you'll see that's using, you stretch this out, it says, it's using cloud 1, this using cloud 2. So there's actually three different layers, and we actually turn them off. So, it all depends on, how you want to do it. So it's pretty good. Now you're probably thinking, yeah, it doesn't look bad, but it actually moves. So let's just do the first, so we'll ignore the first layer and use the second layer. So you'll see it says text scale. That allows the scale of the thing. So let's say 5, you'll see it changes. 2, changes to whatever you want. Direction lets you change the direction as well. Now you'll see text speed. It looks pretty low because it's actually moving, but you can't really know. So 0.05, and now you'll see that that's slowly moving. Now same thing, using all the layered methods, the layers on top, you can actually change that to like 0.01. You'll see that will move at a slower pace, so it gives you that whole layered look. And you can obviously change the height as well, so or you can make it really crazy. So depends on how you want to do it. So that allows you to add different things, and obviously you got the scale, which is like 8. That's however you want to scale it. And then you've got text direction, so we can go 5, yeah, maybe 2, so it just changes the direction as well. So that's pretty good. You can make the clouds however you want, make them as fast or as slow as you want. So it adds a more immersion into the world when you're playing on the Rift, and it looks fantastic as well. Like you can see there, it looks pretty good, all works fine. So what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of that, and we'll have a look at cloud layer. So let's just call that cloud 1. Okay, now go back to scene. Okay, so you'll see this is obviously a bit different, and because the sun's red, it's making the clouds red as well. So it makes it, add in more. So you've got the bunch of textures as well, same as it was before. Speed, So let's make that. No, let's make it 3. Yeah. So you can do all that kind of stuff. Now there's a base color for your thing. So let's change that to blue. So you'll see that. You can change it to whatever you want. Just get it more. However you need it. So select whatever you need, and you select. Now also you got the alpha as well. There, if you do need to make it transparent. So now you got exposure. So let's say 5. You'll see obviously expose more. The higher the exposure, the more white it's going to be. So lower, more color, and you'll see it has a more darker thing. Now you got wind speed as well. So you can go 5. So usually you just leave these textures as is and use the wind speed to make it pretty good. Make it crazy or where it's just barely moving. And height, that allows different things as well. The higher the height, the weirder it gets. Obviously, if you go really high, it kind of has this hole where it's more coming down towards you instead. So, if you want more cloud cover, like you do 8. If you want less, you might do 2. So that's the basics of the cloud layer. Pretty simple, gets the jobs done. Now, if we go back to library and level environment, now that other one I was talking about was scatter sky. Now you're probably wondering, what is this? This is actually a pretty good system. It's combining your sun, your clouds, and your skybox. So you'll see here it's saying it's going to conflict with the sun. We'll just say yes. So we'll create that. Yep, because that's already used. So scatter sky 1. Now you'll see it's giving me this weird option. That's because I've got the sun. So we need to remove the sun, remove the sky. So you'll see that hasn't caused any issues now. You'll see there's a sun over there, and everything's looking a lot better. So the good thing about this is this has options for day and night. So you've got sky brightness. So if you want to turn that down, make that 1. Pretty dark, let's put 50, make it pretty bright. 20's around even. So sun size, obviously, no, I want my sun to look supernova because I'm, really close to my alien world. So let's make that 8, or 25. So make it whatever size you want. Now you've got this radar scattering. You can change details in that. It's more, when you kind of look through the trees, you can have like little sun rays kind of thing. Actually, it controls how blue the atmosphere is during the day. Sorry, I was wrong thing. 00001. So, yeah, so that obviously allows it. You can put that way down. use a flashlight script, and then you can, have like a horror game. So that's going. You got exposure as well. Obviously, exposure's what it is. The brighter, it just kind of makes it even like really worse. Like, ow, it hurts. So that's fine. Now you'll see here we've got sun size and all that. Now you'll see here the orbit. So this is actually for the moon. Now the reason is that you can't control the sun because the sun's going to be controlled by your day and night time cycle. So I'll show you that in a second. But this is the moon, so you can select the elevations and all that stuff. You can actually select to cast shadows, select not. So actually, sorry, yeah. So you can change the elevation of the sun here. So 10 will change it there. So you can set it where you want. Now this will obviously change, where about in the world it will go. So there's heaps of options there. You can actually add flare types as well if you really want to. Now, the one thing I'm going to do is if I go to library again, level and level, you'll see there's a time of day. Now, the cool thing is this actually lets you do a time of day. So you'll see it's nighttime at the moment. Let me just run over here. So I'm just checking here. So I just want to make sure the moon is selected. So yeah, so you'll see the sun is rising. So in game, the sun rises. Now you can change the time cycle and all that. So unfortunately, I don't have the Rift plugged in, so I can't look up. But yeah, so you'll see it's slowly, all the shadows are changing and everything. So you can have this. It's really good. You can have set up a game where enemies only come out at night. In the day, you got to scavenge and get enough ammo, health, and all that stuff. But yeah, you'll see it's coming down, and the shadows will slowly stretch over the land. Obviously, depending how long you've got the day and night cycle set, obviously longer day cycle means obviously it's going to be slower, etc. So as soon as that goes down, you'll see it goes to night, and there's the moon. So it's pretty cool function. Now the time is what organizes. So you'll see day length. This is based on real world seconds. So obviously, that's 2 minutes for 120. Then, start time, that's just the start time. Now you play. So say we're obviously at night at the moment. So you'll see day scale. That means it's going to be 120. Night scale is actually obviously 1.5 of 120. So it's also not going to be duplicated. So if you untick play, it stops it exactly where it is. You can have it just like that, and then you can delete the time and just have it as a day or night only thing, or you leave time in there and you can have that play whenever you want. So obviously you'll see that's going up fast. So if we do that, it's like 500 seconds, you'll see it's going a lot slower. So it all depends on how you want to do it, but that's a pretty cool feature. And going to daytime is pretty cool, and then going to nighttime is also pretty fantastic as well. So that's a good option for your day and night cycle if you wanted to add one, or if you just want simple clouds and just the sun, nothing else, then same. And because we've got this on, you can add your clouds on top of this, and it will just make it as is. So you leave it as night like that, and if you untick the play, it will always stay night. So there you go, there's the moon. You know, you can run around, try to find out where you're going. You know, it totally changes the atmosphere as well. So, you know, there you go. That's how to use the day and night cycle and the different types of suns and clouds. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.